ECNEC approved 16 projects including Bay Terminal Marine Infrastructure Development in Chattogram Port. Local Government Reform Commission submits report to Chief Advisor. Chief Advisor urges him to hire more Bangladeshi women peacekeepers. MARIDOC, Organization for Locating Victims of Enforced Disappearance during Awami League era, forms human chain demanding speedy trial of all enforced disappearances and locating the victims. Genocide evidence is found against 45 individuals, including Sheikh Hasina, Obadul Qadir and 14 party leaders, says Chief Prosecutor. BNP in favor of giving more power to President, says Salahuddin Ahmed after second round discussion with National Consensus Commission. National Citizen Party NCP meets with Election Commission, demands legal actions against all candidates, officials and employees involved with last 3 controversial general elections. Robotic Rehabilitation Center will open soon with Chinese assistance to provide advanced treatment to injured victims of July mass uprising. At least 52 Palestinians killed in fresh Israeli attacks in Gaza. Netanyahu asks soldiers to step up attacks. And Zimbabwe trailing by 124 runs against Bangladesh at stumps of day 1 in select test. Assalamu alaikum. This is Simran Rashid welcoming you to News at 10. You've just heard the headlines, now on to the details. ECNEC has approved 16 projects including Bay Terminal Marine Infrastructure Development of Chattogram Port. The projects will cost a total of 24,247 crore taka. The approval came from ECNEC meeting held with Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus in the chair at the NEC conference room at Shere Bangla Nagar in Dhaka today. Members of the Advisory Council, members of the Planning Commission and secretaries concerned were present at the meeting. Of the 16 projects, 13 are new and 3 are revised projects. Bay Terminal Marine Infrastructure Development of Chattogram Port will cost 13,525.57 crore taka. Some other major approved projects are Chattogram Water Supply Development, technical assistance for green railway transport readiness, drilling of 2 deep exploration wells in Titash and Bakbaraad gas fields, increasing and strengthening the drilling capacity of Geological Survey of Bangladesh, Bangladesh Sustainable Recovery, Emergency Preparedness and Response Project, Local Government Engineering Department, Bangladesh Sustainable Recovery, Emergency Preparedness and Response Project, Bangladesh Water Development Board, and Strengthening Social Protection, Improved Resilience, Inclusion and Targeting Project. After the meeting, briefing reporters Planning Advisor Dr. Wahiduddin Mahmood said that Bay Terminal Marine Infrastructure Development Project is approved to increase the capacity of Chattogram Port. The Local Government Reform Commission officially handed over its final report to Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. Receiving the report, the Chief Advisor expressed his strong commitment to transparency and public engagement with the reform process. Professor Yunus said that the full report to make public so that citizens, experts and stakeholders can access and understand the reforms that are being proposed. He believes that these reforms should be studied in schools to build civic awareness from a young age. Let us not delay. These reforms must move from paper to practice as soon as possible, the Chief Advisor added. The Local Government Reform Commission Chief Professor Tofail Ahmed and members of the commission submitted the report after months of consultation, research and fieldwork. Later, at the Foreign Service Academy, Commission Chief Dr. Tofail Ahmed briefed journalists. He said that the reform report has been prepared in 2 volumes. The first volume includes proposals for forming a permanent local government commission, along with several fundamental reform recommendations to strengthen local governance. The second volume suggests consolidating conflicting laws into a single unified law to empower local government bodies. He mentioned that recommendations have been made to introduce civil and criminal courts at the Upazila level. The report also produces abolishing village courts. Additionally, it recommends modernizing the local government, rural development and cooperatives ministry, and even suggests renaming the ministry, Dr. Tofail Ahmed added.
আর আইনগুলোকে আমরা দেখেছি 5টা মৌলিক আইন, ইউনিয়ন পরিষদ আইন, উপজেলা পরিষদ আইন, জেলা পরিষদ আইন, পৌরসভা আইন, সিটি কর্পোরেশন আইন, এগুলো পৃথক পৃথক আইন, কিন্তু এগুলো অনেক ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু একটা আরেকটা প্রতিরূপ অথবা সাংঘর্ষিক কোনো কোনো ক্ষেত্রে। আমরা সব আইনগুলোকে পর্যালোচনা করে একটা সিঙ্গেল অ্যাক্টের অধীনে ইউনিয়ন, উপজেলা, জেলা, পৌরসভা, সিটি সবগুলোকে নিয়ে আসছি। এই আইনটা যদি পাশ করা হয় তাহলে আইনের সংখ্যা কমে যাবে। আমরা চাই যে এই উপজেলাতে আবার দেওয়ানি ফৌজদারি 2 আদালত যেতে হবে। আমাদের বিচার বিভাগের সংস্কার কমিশন তারাও কিন্তু এই একই রিকমেন্ডেশন করেছে। সুতরাং বিচার বিভাগ থানায় যেতে কিন্তু উপজেলা পর্যন্ত যেতে কিন্তু সমস্যা নাই, এটা অর্ডারের অপেক্ষা মাত্র। ইউনিয়ন পরিষদ লেভেলে গ্রাম আদালত নামক একটা আদালত আছে, এটা দেখা যাচ্ছে আমরা স্টাডি করে দেখেছি এটা অ্যাবিউজ হচ্ছে। আমরা যেটা প্রস্তাব করেছি আমরা সেটা করেছি, গ্রাম আদালতটা বিলুপ্ত করতে হবে।
Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus has urged the United Nations to hire more women peacekeepers from Bangladesh as he reaffirmed Bangladesh's unwavering commitment to international peacekeeping and security efforts. The Chief Advisor made the call when UN Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations Jean-Pierre Lacroix met him at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. During the meeting, issues with regards to UN peacekeeping were discussed elaborately. Bangladesh consistently ranks among the top 3 troops contributing countries with 5,677 peacekeepers across 10 of the 11 active missions. The UN Under-Secretary General highlighted the UN policy of engaging more women in peacekeeping. The Chief Advisor expressed Bangladesh's readiness to deploy additional troops and police when required, underscoring Bangladesh's pledge of 5 units at the rapid deployment level in the peacekeeping capability readiness system. Professor Yunus also advocated for increased Bangladeshi representation in UN peacekeeping leadership at both headquarters and field levels. The UN officials said that they would also support Bangladeshi in this regard. The Chief Advisor affirmed that Bangladesh strictly complies with the UN vetting for peacekeepers and welcomed further collaboration with the UN and other bodies on training and accountability to strengthen human rights compliance. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus met with the Chinese ambassador, Mr. Yao Wen, at the State Guest House, Jamuna today to review the outcomes of his recent visit to China and outline next steps for accelerating Bangladesh-China cooperation. During the meeting, both sides expressed a shared commitment to transforming discussions into actionable projects across a range of sectors including infrastructure, trade, healthcare, education and culture. The 2 sides also discussed a plan to procure 4 new vessels from China, with the Chinese side assuring that the process would be completed by June this year. The Chinese side reaffirmed their commitment to build a 1,000-bed hospital in Bangladesh. The Chinese ambassador informed that progress is being made to launch a direct Kunming-Chittagong flight, and efforts are underway to expedite medical visas for Bangladeshi patients. The Chief Advisor stressed the importance of cultural exchange, proposing the establishment of a Chinese cultural center and language institute to allow young Bangladeshis to engage more closely with Chinese language and culture. The Chief Advisor also raised the possibility of expanding jute products to China and urged greater Chinese investment in the locomotive sector. The meeting was also attended by the Foreign Advisor Muhammad Tawhid Hussain, National Security Advisor Dr. Khalil Rahman, BIDA Chairman Ashik Mahmoud bin Harun, Special Assistant Faiz Taib, Cabinet Secretary Siyajin Mia, SDG Coordinator Lamia Morshid. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus met Gabriela Ramos Patina, Mexico's candidate for Director General of UNESCO 2025 to 2029, at the State Guest House, Jumna today. Mr. Federico Salas, the Mexican non-resident ambassador to Bangladesh, attended the meeting. During the courtesy call, Ms. Patina commended Bangladesh's progress in education, culture and inclusive development. She said, Bangladesh has demonstrated how resilience, policy, commitment and a focus in equity can drive meaningful change, and UNESCO sees this country not just as a member but as a partner with real promise. Both sides reflected on the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Bangladesh and Mexico. Noting that the milestone opens new avenues for cooperation in education, cultural heritage and climate resilience, the Senior Secretary of SDG Affairs Lamia Morshid was also present at the meeting. The organization named Mayer Dak, representing families of victims of enforced disappearances, held a human chain protest demanding justice for their missing loved ones who disappeared during the Awami League regime. The demonstration took place this morning at the gate of the High Court Madhar, with around 100 family members participating. Speakers at the event said that even though 8 months have passed since the fall of Sheikh Hasina's government, those responsible for the enforced disappearances and killings have yet to be brought to justice. They alleged that the masterminds behind the abductions and murders fled from the cantonment after August 5th. They demanded that those who aided their escape must also be brought under trial. The families urged that the victims of enforced disappearances be returned without delay. The International Crimes Tribunal has ordered that the investigation report of July-August genocide case implementing Awami League General Secretary and former Minister of Road Transport and Bridges Minister Owail Qadir, along with 45 others, be submitted by July 20th. The order was issued today by a 3-member judicial panel of the tribunal led by Chairman Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtuza Mujumdar. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajiul Islam stated that during Sheikh Hasina's regime of the past 16 years, approximately 800 to 900 enforced disappearances occurred, with investigations revealing that around 300 of those victims were later killed. Investigations into these incidents are still ongoing. The chief prosecutor further noted that the investigation agency has found evidence against 45 individuals in connection with the July-August genocide, including former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, former Minister Owail Qadir and leaders of 14-party alliance. He added that the investigation against Sheikh Hasina in the July-August genocide is nearing completion and several reports are expected to be submitted within this week. Earlier, in connection with allegations of mass killings during July-August, 19 individuals, including former Law Minister Anisul Haq, former Industries Minister Amir Hossain Amu, former Education Minister Dr. Deepu Moni, former State Minister for ICT Junaid Ahmed Polok and former MP Shahjahan Khan were presented before the International Crimes Tribunal. BNP is in favor of giving more power to President of the Republic for check and balance of the state power. BNP leader Salahuddin Ahmed said this after concluding second round of talks with National Consensus Commission in Dhaka today. He said that the party opined that changes relating to local government autonomy should be done via law, not via constitution. BNP did not agree to the proposal that the head of the government and the party chief could not be the same person, he added. He said BNP wants restoration of the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution. BNP leaders said BNP disagrees with changing the constitutional name of the state. The leaders of the party have opined that it is necessary to keep the caretaker until a fair environment is created for the country's election system for the sake of the doctrine of necessity. BNP is cooperating with Consensus Commission with sincerity and transparency, said Salahuddin Ahmed, adding that the second round of talks with the Commission has narrowed down differences of number of reform recommendations. The party will sit again with Commission on Tuesday next. National Citizen Party (NCP) Chief Coordinator Nasiruddin Patwari has demanded those who are involved in the last illegal 3 elections should be investigated and brought to book. He stated this to newsmen after a meeting at CEC office at Agargaon Election Bhavan in the capital today. A 5-member delegation led by NCP Chief Coordinator Nasiruddin Patwari took part in the meeting with Chief Election Commissioner AMM Nasiruddin. Joint convener of the party Anik Roy, Khalid Saifullah, Mujahidul Islam Shahin and Tajnuva Jabin were present at the delegation. After the meeting, Nasiruddin Patwari briefed newsmen saying, Awami League has turned every institution of the country into fascist structure. They snatched away people's voting rights. NCP leaders urged to take action against the officials and candidates who were involved in the election. He said, provisions must be made for submitting nomination papers in person, providing election commission from the EC within 48 hours, investigating the affidavits of the candidates to ascertain their authenticity, changing the code of conduct and expenditure rules to prevent election violence, refrain loan and defaulters from the election, cancelling the candidature if there is wrong information in the affidavit, and taking steps so that they cannot stay in parliament even if elected. Besides, Nasiruddin Patwari said that every party should have renewal and the Reform Commission report must be implemented. He also commented that voting rights will not be properly exercised if elections are held before reform. AB party today hosted a press conference titled Contaminated Wasa Water, Citizens Facing Serious Health Hazard. General Secretary of AB Party Barrister Asaduzzaman Fuad and Joint General Secretary Barrister Nasreen Sultan Amili spoke on the occasion at party headquarters in the capital. Senior party leaders were present at the function. Barrister Asaduzzaman Fuad said, every year waterborne disease proliferate due to Wasa water contamination. This long-standing problem is yet to be resolved. It is a total failure of previous government that they have failed miserably to create safe drinking water supply chain. They were busy with development propaganda and hype creation about smart Bangladesh, Barrister Fuad said. The AP party leader said that the fascist administration in the last 16 years made all service sector as den of corruption. Therefore, he added that common people have become deprived from civic services. He urged the government officials and employees, including those of WASA, to make this organization pro-service and pro-people.